I would just, or else I would
Watch
just
it
read a book or watch a movie. That's the
or
whole
watch
point.
somebody play the game.
Yes, and you can do that easily now. Just watch people, but I want to be in control. So
Right.
test my skills or whatever. And you just mentioned like I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, I'm absolutely loving it. It's kind of easy in the beginning, but then you start finding some of these really tough robots. And in the beginning, I was just shooting with my bow, and here's all these other items and all these other weapons. Never had to use them. I just shoot the guy in the bow. Okay. Then it's like, oh man, I can't beat this guy with just an arrow. And then I would die. Oh, die again, die again. Oh, okay, this is
Right.
a challenge. Then I had to start using different weapons and different elements and trap them and set these traps. And I would beat a guy maybe 45 minutes later, and I was so excited. I was
Right.
happy that I beat this guy. I felt accomplished. I feel like I am a born dinosaur hunter now when I play that game. It is so exciting. But my pet peeve is, and I'm a little bit of like a trophy whore or an achievement whore. Like I like
Okay.
showing off if I beat something, like Witcher Platinum because I beat it on the hardest difficulty. Okay, this I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, but you don't get a trophy for it. So,
Oh no.
Oh my God, no!
like, what's the point?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, some other kid can be playing this on easy, and he's like, I platinum this game. Yeah, okay, because you just shot him with an arrow.
Right,
Like,
but on the flip side, that also shows something about yourself.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you enjoying this experience is more important than that trophy.
Yes, but I
You know
do
what I mean?
like showing
It's
that
nice.
trophy up. I do. So I don't know why they just didn't. That's the one thing that ticks me off about that game. Put a
Okay.
hard difficulty. That's it. That's my 8 cents.
My so one game that I like to that I want to talk about in this argument. I don't know how much experience you guys have with it. Is Ninja Gaiden as a series? Okay, so Ninja Gaiden on NES is known to be very difficult.
Yeah.
One thing you'll hear just about every Ninja Gaiden player play is about the birds, right? So what happens in Ninja Gaiden, if you don't already know, is stuff that you kill. And I think Mega Man's the same way, but this is just a little bit different. Stuff that you kill, if you take 2 steps back, it will respawn, right? But even if you sit still in the wrong spot, it'll keep coming. So there's these birds that usually fly over a pit, and if you jump and kill it, it'll come right back. So then, usually while you're playing the game, you'll jump, get hit, fall in the pit, you're dead, right? Now, what I started to do when I played this game is I want to say like I learned how to play it, which is actually going to come again on the Xbox version, is you run and you jump and you slash all the time. So if you run and jump and as soon as you jump you slash, if something pops out, you hit it. You know what I mean? And that's just something that if you want to play the game and you enjoy it, that you're able to do. But in this day and age, would somebody be like, "Hey, you guys need to slow down the birds?
Right.
Can you remove the birds?" like no. Like you play the game for what it is. If the game is broken, that's one thing. But if it's tough and the game is designed to be played a certain way, which is like the Xbox OG Xbox Ninja Gaidens, or what I used to call Ninja Goddamn, because that game was really tough. The game is designed to play a certain way, and it started out and it was so cheap, right? And it is a funky design because you're constantly being hit by ninja stars and things from off screen, right? So guys that are coming in and off screen you can't see are hitting you with explosives that hurt bad. So is that poor game design? Yeah, it kind of is if the camera sucks, right?
Yeah.
But then you learn how to play it. And those games are designed for you to never stop moving. Never. So you're fighting a couple guys now, you realize I should be running and jumping off walls and doing all this fancy stuff, and you will never get hit by stuff that's off screen. And, it's like, say you're this example is like in an enclosed space. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things you come to realize, like, man, they designed this game for you to be playing off the wall, like, what's his name? Devil May Cry on steroids almost. You know what I mean? But that's how the game's meant to be played. What are you going to do? Like, are you going to say that maybe projectiles shouldn't come from guys off screen? That's actually kind of valid. You know what I mean? But they couldn't make those changes back then, and I think it's cool that games can be fixed now. It's not cool that games are released broken. You know what I mean? It's bad.
Or come out broken just because they want to hit their deadline.
That's what I mean. Like, games
Yeah,
are being
right.
released broken and fixed later.
Mass Effect.
But games that are released that are going to be played a certain way, I feel like it's crazy that people would buy a game and complain that it's too hard for them. For them. It's not too hard. It's too hard for me. So you need to add this mode where I can hold forward like Sonic Adventure and watch it happen. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of crazy to me.
It's just
Chris-
with the internet, it's so much easier to make that happen. You know, like when we were kids, like Corey was saying, there was nowhere to complain or to call and, you know, or to put, hey, this game's too hard, I don't like it. It's just, that's what it was. You know, you got stuck with it.
Yep.
And it's funny you mentioned the internet, because I almost totally forgot to bring this up. It was on I forgot to write it down, was you now have more resources than ever to complete a game, right?
Oh, yeah.
More resources than ever. This game is too hard. You go to YouTube, in Hyperlight Drifter's case, you go to YouTube, see how this player beat this room,
Yep.
right? We had, GameFAQs? Wasn't nobody uploading videos to GameFAQs?
I was stuck in Jurassic Park for Super Nintendo.
Oh my god, those games.
So stuck. Like, first person view, I had to destroy these eggs. I first asked permission to call the Nintendo hotline. It was like $2.99 a minute. I need to know how to beat this game. Play it for so long, got stuck, got the person on. Hey, I really need you to help me with this. I'm so stuck. They didn't know what to tell me. That cost $3. And I went back and I kept trying it. And to this day, I couldn't do it. I was so stuck. But I'm not going to bash the game. I loved it.
Right.
Today, you could just be like, oh, I'm stuck at this YouTube. Oh, that's how I do it. Okay, now you physically have to do that. If you can't, it's not the game's fault.
Right.
I try to never do that. I don't, like, for instance, me and my buddy Matt beat we beat Battletoads on co-op, right? It took us years to beat this game, partially because of our schedule. We played it at lunch break at work. But we made a promise to each other that we would never look up anything, because that's how we wanted to experience it.
Yeah.
That game is quite a bit of trial and error. There's a specific section where you have to drop, like, run to this side, drop, run to this side, drop, like that, right? But sometimes there are spikes. So the camera's not zoomed out enough for you to see a spike. So if you dropped and didn't know it was there, you're dead, okay? But now you're like, okay, I know it's there. So now you got to drop and hook away from him. And there's a lot of parts like that, but that game is pretty long, and when you lose all 3 continues, it's over.
That's it.
And that's another thing about Ninja Gaiden is, on Ninja Gaiden NES, yeah, it's tough, right? You have infinite continues. Infinite. So you can try as many times as you want. So it's all about, if you're willing to play the game to beat it, put the time in, get better at it, not even get better at it, just understand it. You know what I mean? As to where, like, if you got to the last level on Ninja Gaiden and had to start all over, that would suck. It would. I mean, that's how games were.
Right.
But it would suck. Contra. I found out most people regard this as a really tough game, Contra. I think it's really easy. But I guess for me it's such a tough balance, and I hate when people, like for instance, my brother, I said, yo man, Dark Souls is amazing. You should get into it. I know you'd like it. That game's too hard for me. Like, what do you mean? You never even played it. Like, how do you automatically, just because you hear a game is tough, you automatically aren't interested in it at all when you taught me how to play video games?
Right.
This is the guy now that is just as interested in me. Mind you, my spectrum is broader, I think, for the types of games that I like. But, you know, the guy seasoned me on how to play games, but you tell me that a game is too hard just because you heard about it. Mind you, I bought it for him. I forced it down his throat. I was like, yo, we're playing this together. And you know what's funny is when we played it together, he loved it. Absolutely loved it. But he was so terrified just hearing that he might have to die a couple times that he didn't want to play it. And
I don't have the time to sit there and die and die and die. You know, and I know I'm not alone. I know I can't be alone with this. So it's like with Dark Souls, like too, it also, I wanted to play it because everyone was playing it. And I wanted to play with somebody. But like when I would play by myself, it's a very difficult game by yourself. It can be a very difficult game. You know, you can go and grind and make it easier, you know, but it can be a very difficult game. And I just, at the time in my life, I didn't want to have to do that.
I understand that. I definitely get as far as time goes. There are time constraints where you don't want that experience.
Right.
Right.
And that's what it is. I don't want the experience, you know, that's what it is.
And that's the thing. You can appreciate that. You can appreciate it as the game, but it's not the game's fault, and the game doesn't have to now become easier to fit into your schedule. You just understand that at the time it's not for you, and you move on to Helldivers and, you know, something else.
I'm a firm believer in game design. You know, if you build a game, and this is the way it should be. However, being older now, I do want to play games and just, you know what, I just want to play this, man.
Fun.
Just make this super easy. I just want to play through it because here's my $50. Just give me a reason to give you my $50.
Right.
You know?
But the difference is that you're going to hunt for that experience, right?
Right.
You're not going to go buy Dark Souls and then go complain it's too hard and you want an easy mode on.
Yeah, personally, yes.
You know what I mean?
I
think that's a problem with people today. Is this game is, you know, please patch this game, not because it is broken, because I don't want to play it the way you made it.
Right.
Exactly.
I think to me that's kind of crazy. But that's just something that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to kind of get it off my chest per se. I'm not. It's hard to say that I'm bashing people for it. I kind of am, but I also wanted to have a conversation with these two guys about it. And
I think it's worthy to bring up because, like you said, if you want to play games, that's fine. You paid your $50. You're going to get the experience that you want, but appreciate that.
Yes.
Hey, I built this game for someone to play, and if that's not for you, that's fine. Please move on. But if this is something you're interested in, then please play it. You know, like people spent time and money and energy to build this, and it's you know, it's a shame that someone's like, oh, your game sucks. You know, this guy built it all by himself. You know, and it's hundreds of hours of his life, and don't just step on his dreams, you know?
We're defending the gamers. They're defending the game design.
Right. Yeah. I think that's I think that's what you don't. I don't think you get to tell somebody their game sucks.
Right.
Because you aren't good at it. You know what I mean? I think that's a major. Like, Guitar Hero sucks because I can't beat through the fire and flames.
You. Right.
You know?
I just suck at it, and I can say that. That's okay.
I suck at it, but I think people's pride gets so far ahead of that.
Yes. Point.
And you can point out things that suck. You know, I think that Ubisoft sucks for nerfing guard breaks. You know, I think they suck. In For Honor, there's a guard break system where basically you run up to somebody, break their guard, and you get a free hit. The way you had to defend against that was you had to time it so that when the person hit you, you hit the button and you kind of throw break like a Street Fighter game. Mm-hmm. Now, as soon as you see somebody do it, you just mash the button and you get away. As for before, you got one button press.
Shot.
It made the game a little bit more offensive because now, like a mix-up situation, I'm coming in, bam, I got you with it. You didn't see it coming. Now it's like I'm just going to sit here like this and wait to see if it pops up and mash away. So I don't appreciate that they did that, but way too many people complained and people didn't like it. So at that point, what do you do as Ubisoft? You know,
you fix it.
You
make it easy.
You make it easy, right?
I thought it was the whole, like, if someone presses it, like if two people press it at the same time, whoever pressed it first always wins, and you didn't have a chance. So I thought that was what they were fixing. I didn't know that it was now you've got that window. Like, I totally agree with that one fix because then it's just whoever pressed it first. Now I don't even have a chance to defend myself.
Right. It was the way it was in the beta, I believe, was that if you both pressed it, like 1-2, this person's going to look like they're going to get it, but you still have that one button press left.
Mm-hmm.
As to where what they actually did was they made it, you know, this person presses it, mash, and you break out.
That's a shame. But again, now Ubisoft, we know they will bend to people. They just did it twice. So now every single game, people can say, oh, I'm going to protest. I'm not going to play your game anymore. Well, that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing to a company.
It is. It really is.
You know,
and they want that game to be successful.
Yeah.
It's such a unique experience, and they have a